An engaging vision is inspiring. It arouses feelings of ambition, enthusiasm, and commitment. And then the second point is that it guides decision-making in all the functions of the work toward a single goal. So I sort of lead people in writing their own on that. And then I give examples of 3 different organizations' vision statement. One is Stanford Medical Center, their vision statement, and then vision statement from Twitter, and vision statement from Ben and Jerry's, which is to make the best possible ice cream in the nicest possible way, because Ben and Jerry's is very strongly a social justice company. So anyway, that's what I do. I sort of teach other people to do it and don't do it myself.
So you actually did the homework. Thank you, Michelle.
I did the homework. I mean, I have slides on this, and I have slides on it and everything.
Okay, no, I appreciate that, and I understand that this course is the audience specifically on this particular pilot is mixed. In particular, is some folks who are entrepreneurs and some folks who intend to train other entrepreneurs. And so that's why I wanted to everyone have a good ability, or everyone get exposed to at least different perspectives. So let's keep the flow going here. Has anyone else reflected on these 3 questions? Or feel free to raise your hand. Feel free to raise your hand or in the chat. Angel, please.
So are you asking if I answered the question from last week? I did, for the trainers aspect of it.
Yes, please. Let's get that perspective.
Yeah, so I believe the question was how would I encourage other entrepreneurs to vocalize or express their competitiveness? I would perform the same presentations and workshops that you guys have been doing. Having action items within the presentations has been helping us a lot, or at least myself. I'll speak for myself. So I would try to encourage them to explore some of their ideas through writing assignments during these workshops, so that they themselves are able to reflect on what it is they truly want to do and how they may pursue it. Didn't write anything else, but that's my 2 cents.
That's fine. This class is not graded. I like I said, this meant to encourage conversation more so than, check off some box of did you complete a task or not. Does anyone else feel like wanting to share? If not, I'm just gonna jump into these slides here in a second and try to make class on time this time and not go over. So raise your hand if you want to speak, and then otherwise we'll just go into the slides here. Apollonia, let's see, which route did you go? Did you go entrepreneur route or train the trainer route? I think you're more the entrepreneur.
Definitely went the entrepreneur route, and I already have my business plan module typed, so I kind of shortcutted these questions because I already have them typed.
Hey, ain't nobody getting judged around here for shortcutting. as long as you get it completed, be effective. As long as it's effective.
So our executive summary states, hey babes, what's blending? Apollonia Jordan LLC, DBA Blend Our Babe Smoothies Co. is a brand that helps to promote portable, healthy lifestyle solutions to accessing immunity-boosting foods through freshly blended exotic fruit and vegetable smoothies, wholesome snacks, freshly blended shots, and portable blenders. And then our value proposition is that, have you ever gone into your favorite smoothie shop and saw the amazing machines that they use to make your favorite smoothie or snack and thought to yourself, I'd love to own one of those machines? Well, here at Blend Our Babe Smoothies Cafes, our customers can do just that. We stand out from our competition by offering our customers the ability to purchase the Blendar on site at our cafe, giving the customer a more personable experience while building customer relations and generating daily cash flow.
Love it. This sounds like something you've been working on for some time now. This wasn't from just last class to now, was it?
No, I typed it up back in September.
Okay, I appreciate you for sharing. I personally am biased. My aunt used to make juices for us when I was in high school, or we came home when it was extremely hot in Houston. So I'm gonna always be a juice fan, a smoothie and juice fan. Okay, well, if there's anyone else that'd like to go, again, Bologna, thanks for sharing, and Angel, thanks for sharing, and Michelle. If there's anyone else, we'll just go ahead and jump into these slides here and talk about setting a vision and your plan for your business, and most importantly, what does that look like, and how are other successful businesses doing? So let's keep on going here. So the purpose of this class, like I mentioned before, has been to to launch a digital platform, or in this case, e-commerce shop. And so when we talk about a vision, or we talk about setting goals for ourselves, selecting a platform helps orient the goals that we end up getting. So in this particular example, we're choosing, two different businesses. Let's say there's an entrepreneur that sells crafts and handmade items on Etsy, and there's another entrepreneur that owns, a rental property in East Bay. And so if each one of these entrepreneurs have existing platforms that they can go to facilitate a number of transactions. And so what you're seeing here, first and foremost, if you are an existing entrepreneur, these columns should be familiar to you. Understanding your audience, understanding the categories of services and products that you want to go for, understanding the motivators, listing down the cost of getting a product to sell or to move, listing the cost to bring awareness to that product, and then any sort of legal instance, I guess, infrastructure or licenses that you need in order to make all this happen. And so picking a platform enables you as an entrepreneur to really orient those goals, and in this particular case, these dimensions of your business into a more cohesive manner. So right here, the focus is going to be on marketplaces that allow you to grow and reach an audience of different sizes. So between these two different slides, I want to take a stop here because I realize that some of this may be kind of intuitive to you guys already. But when I mention the word platform and I mention, commerce, what are some of the things that make you nervous? Or what are some of the things that you guys may not understand or have troubles with navigating those different platforms? And feel free to type them in the chat here. So to rephrase the question, the term platform is used a lot in conversation, but as an entrepreneur or someone training, potential entrepreneurs, how do you orient someone from their idea to a platform to execution? Because it's one thing to be said, hey, yeah, just sell it on Etsy, but what exactly does that mean? What does a day in a life of selling something on Etsy actually look like? So what are some of the things that you guys, that comes to mind when I think of those challenges? You can raise your hand or put it in the chat here. Okay, well, if there's no questions here, I'll just keep on moving along. The additional components to selecting a platform is going to be understanding the social component. Michelle mentioned security and negativity. So that's interesting. So one of the things that another component of platform selecting, some outside of just the commercial aspect of it, we live in an age of increasing social selling and increasing customer sharing and customer effectively or user generated stories being the main driver of a lot of entrepreneurial online selling. And so places like Instagram and Facebook Marketplace, these other platforms, like Michelle mentioned, they could have there are some components of security and potentially, bad behavior or negative behavior that can be found on these platforms. And so you as an entrepreneur have to be vigilant around monitoring your brand and being mindful how you engage your audience. So right here, I want to keep going along here with the different platforms, but the goal of I'm trying to illustrate to you is in each one of these examples, for example, in Nextdoor, the platform, these different components have to be answered. Being able to identify your demographic, what you're planning to sell to them, whether it be services or packages or products, the motivators for why your business can or why this platform is going to be effective, so on. So I want to get straight to a major question here, which is, how is creating a e-commerce website right for you? Now, some of this we've already sort of talked about, so I won't spend too much time on this website, but I wanted to focus here on the disadvantages because we've already talked about all the different advantages of building something remotely. But I wanted to, balance that with some of the challenges that entrepreneurs face. One is having the right right licenses to be set up online. Two is the technical skills to build and maintain a back-end system as well as a front-end system to serve customers. And with that includes maintenance of high traffic or high throughput of customers. Another component that a lot of entrepreneurs struggle with is understanding organic search trafficking and combining that with advertising strategies. And if you guys would like, we can go into some tactics calls, or maybe we can have like a tactics discussion on what are some of the ways you can get over that. And then lastly, a couple of areas, marketing and customer acquisition tools. So this just talks about the notion that as you try to acquire and nurture leads, the mere act of acquiring and nurture leads can drive some businesses out of business because they're not really, they haven't been efficient at their marketing spend, or they spend so much on a single, per customer that it actually doesn't make good economic sense. And so our goal in this course is to give you the tools and the mental models to help you avoid some of these pitfalls of an e-commerce website. So this little sheet here, this slide here, I won't spend a lot of time on, but I thought it'd be helpful just to give you guys a quick framework of how other companies sort of do like a comparisons analysis of different technologies. So what you see here on the rows are the different platforms that an entrepreneur can use. We have Shopify, which is used by a number of different, both mid-sized business and large companies. You have Square, which has its own suite of products, Wix, WooCommerce, and I honestly don't even know what ECWID is. But the goal here is to highlight what are some of the main features that enable you as an entrepreneur and as a trainer. How do you communicate, what tools are available to someone to get started? And the main things we're looking for is the ease of launch and setup, the ability to integrate our accounting services, so being able to connect our bank transactions to our inventory, being able to connect to physical locations and pop-ups, and then most importantly, the cost to set up and maintain. I want to take a pause here just to see if this content makes any confusion about this. If not, I would like to continue on, because I think some of this is pretty straightforward to you guys, but I don't want to make any assumptions. Raise your hand if you have any questions. If not, I'm just gonna just keep going. Raise your hand or in the chat. Thank you, Michelle. All right, guys, I'm gonna keep on grooving here. So at this particular stage, we could do a couple of things. One, we could take a moment here to discuss the different platforms, or we could continue to go on into more tactical stuff like how to secure a domain name, things of that nature. What would you guys prefer to do? I'm kind of leaning more on the just continue on, since you guys seem to get this platform stuff. How to secure a domain name. All right, the crowd has spoken. Let's go. Awesome. So securing a domain name. All right. First and foremost, how many of you guys are familiar with the term domain name and these different technologies? Oh. All right. So I'm assuming the raised hand means yes. Okay. Good. So here's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be going over how to register your domain name. What are the different steps involved, and really the outcomes. So as you can see on this slide, the order of operations, to be super explicit, is choosing your name, choosing a domain name. As you can see here, .com is pretty popular, but I noticed, there's a .io, .ai, etc. But .com tends to be the best for companies. Once you come up with the kind of name you want, you will go to domain registry and check out. First of all, see if your name is available. After you've gone to the different domain registry, you'll be able to go to a hosting company. A hosting company, actually, let me slow down, because I realize these concepts can be confusing at times. So I'm going to do my best to find a diagram. In the meantime, Steve, if you're on the call, if you can, or Ray, help me find a diagram explaining this. But the goal here is this: where you buy a domain name from may not necessarily be who's hosting the actual website. So if we take Satoshi, for example, if we take Satoshi.com and he goes to GoDaddy.com and buys that, he needs to also purchase a service that's going to actually host Satoshi.com. In this case, a service like Blue Hosting, but there are other ones as well. And then after he's done that, depending on the hosting company, sometimes they will offer a site service included, but you also need that as well. These three components, or how do I say this? Yeah, these three components are important to a legitimate business website, but also one that can scale with traffic. So if going from 100 daily users to, let's say, hopefully a million daily visitors, or 1,000 daily visitors, requires having a flexible technology stack that enables your website to grow. So that's part of the domain, keeping that in mind when you do the domain name registering. Moving on to the next section, creating product listings. This seems to be pretty straightforward. Which picture looks better? Or which picture looks better for you? Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see Angel had a question. Let me go back to the slides. Let me go back.
It was just, with Squarespace be also a hosting site? That was my question.
Yes, so it can be confusing at times. So just to be super clear, the act of securing a domain registry is just you securing that address to something. what these services like Squarespace and GoDaddy, Namecheap, what they offer is you can search up your unique domain, and then they give you the registry for that, and then they will offer the hosting as well. So when you go to www.satoshi.com, instead of saying Squarespace or whatever, it'll say satoshi.com because you paid Squarespace to not have it there. And then once you've done that, then some, like a company like Squarespace, they'd include things like site service and all these other components into their packages. But the old way of doing it was these three: the domain registry was a line item, the hosting companies was a line item, and the site service was a line item. So I wanted to clarify that because I had to learn that. I had to learn this the most brutal way. So if I can prevent someone else from having headaches, I would be glad to do so. So I'm going to take a pause here. Feel free to comment in the chat. This, thumbs up, this makes sense, or if you want me to go into greater detail. You're welcome, Angel. Okay, I'm going to keep going here. So we're going to be talking about creating a product listing, setting up your products, and how you showcase what the customers potentially can, buy or own from you is critical. It goes to that old adage, the information you present is just as important the information you present is just as important. Wow, I don't even remember it. It's not just information; it's also how you present it. Jesus. So that's what I was trying to get at. So Satoshi made a comment that this picture on the left looks a lot better than the one on the right, and the goal here is to highlight, if you were to buy something, which picture looks more appealing? The one on the left with this random water bottle and like half-eaten like donut-looking thing, or this one on the right where it's clean, crisp with a picture of, nice in center, things of that nature. Same with this picture. You see the picture on the right looks way crisper than the one on the left. This guy's bed or something. Mm-mm. So the point here is taking good pictures is important. I think we've all seen the impact of taking good pictures on social media, so I won't belabor the point here. And combined with effective pictures and crisp pictures is going to be just product descriptions. In this particular slide, we have someone trying to describe a Kate Spade bag, and they're using a lot of really colorful words to describe the picture, describe their experience with the bag. Things like classic double, charmingly shrunken down for every day. Things like a blank canvas, a keychain, scarf, brooches, and a number of stickers. You know what I mean? So they've found a way to make this to appeal to the audience. In this particular case, people who are looking for a Kate Spade bag and speak to the idea of being creative but also classy. And so this narrative formation in the description is important to a crisp picture. So we've gone over making pictures and showing the proper catalog, describing it out, having a vision for your particular audience, having a platform to put all this content on. So if we've done all those things right and put all those pieces together, the goal is that they purchase, and now the real fun begins. So what happens when someone purchases? Well, ideally, they get a confirmation of the order, a summary of what was ordered, and an estimated time delivery. I'm sure you guys have ordered something from Amazon recently. Oh, hold on. There's people chatting. Oh, my apologies. Angel is correct. And presentation is vital to the presentation of the product is critical. And Satoshi, I guess he was referring to the earlier pictures. And Michelle was talking about knitting needles. I appreciate all this feedback. I wanted to ask, I want to take a pause here because I feel like I've been chatting for too long and I want to hear you guys' voices. What are some of the, now that you purchased, what are some of the purchase experiences you guys have had that you've enjoyed? I'll go first to sort of top this off. I recently purchased some shea butter offline from a local, woman-owned African store. And I went online, clicked on my shea butter. I got a nice little cute email, and that was it. So, what are some of the checkout processes or purchasing processes you guys have noticed in your own daily life? Feel free to raise your hand. Go ahead, Steve.
Man, I would say for me, I mean, obviously Amazon is a big one, but when I also think about purchasing something online, I think about going to maybe people I know personally. For instance, someone I may have met out at a cafe or something that was selling like their cards. There was cards for the culture. I'm not name dropping here for a company in particular, but there was cards for the culture, and it was a black female entrepreneur that had decided she wanted to make Afrocentric cards for every season. And I was like, oh, I see the game. I love the game. Look at the game. What? So I was like, well, you have an online store? Yeah, I have an online store. Go ahead, real quick, drop in there, good to go. Okay. I also like companies that have a super clean shopping cart. If you're not a mega company, have a super clean shopping cart, and we can get to that. What else do y'all think?
Edith.
My little brother asked for Dr. Squatch soap for Christmas, and I'd never heard of it. I guess he saw it on TikTok, but when I went to order it for him, they have a pretty like seamless website. So I don't know if anyone should emulate, I guess their small business, it should be after those guys.
I'm trying to check them out right now. You said Dr. Squash?
Squatch? I don't know. It's like a TikTok thing, of course.
I don't know. It's a TikTok thing. Yeah. Let's see. I'm about to present their I'm about to start. I'm going to show their screen right now. Or excuse me, show their website right now. We got organic soap. I like the picture so far. Got starter bundles. Got toothpaste. I like this. I wonder how they get that animated. You take the soap quiz.
It's like mostly marketed towards men, boys.
I see. I think this is interesting because selling men's hygiene gear has been an extremely it's recently become competitive. It used to just be Old Spice, and then this new generation of I guess I would say the last 10 years or so, we've seen a rapid change in how they advertise to men. And so I really appreciate you giving this example. I definitely enjoyed this. They have the take the quiz part right up there with log in. So I think that's a cool way to associate personalization of the experience. And I'm gonna do rewards here. Let's see. Products, any have limited. Okay, that's cool. I'll start going on this. I just thought that was a good example of kind of bringing that all together. The vision, the product catalog, the how they present things to you. I guess we can check in like a description of this bar soaps. Let's see what these descriptions sound like. Bay round.
I'm looking to like revamp my website now and working with like a website developer because I have Square and they just don't allow you to have enough like well, I don't they don't allow you to have videos at all or like any type of interactive videos on your website. So I'm trying to work with a website developer now to get more like video interaction to generate more like crowds to my website because it's just like kind of like bland right now.
I appreciate you sharing that. I personally have had the I've consulted on a number of website redesigns, and the successful ones really boil down to a cohesive vision. You know, it really do boil down to like little wireframes and thinking through how the user will use it. So take that time, work through that because it will pay off. I think this is enough for Mr. What is this, Dr. Squash? I keep calling this Mr. Squash. That's enough for that. I appreciate that though, Edith. That was a really good example. So I'm gonna keep going here with the slides. I know we, I said I'd be on time for class, so let me continue on here. Okay. So we just went over what someone would need to purchase. Yeah, that someone just finished purchase. Now what we need to do. This is really and what you'll hear in business is basically called fulfillment or ordering process or however you want to call it. But this is that section of the process. So now that we've gone over, or let me take a pause here. Now that we've gone over the main elements of taking care of an order, what do we need to do to follow up, which includes confirmation, sending out a summary of what we're going to send them, an estimated time delivery. We saw that in the Dr. Squash website, and as well as some additional items like sending them a thank you, asking for social media reviews. As we saw on the Dr. Squash website at the bottom, we saw those little reviews from the customer. And so now we're going to be getting to the section of launching an Etsy marketplace. So pat yourself on the back. You've gotten to basically the lighter stage of the course where we're going to start actually implementing some of these tactics we've been talking about and some of these concepts we've been discussing in class. So the prerequisites for launching an Etsy website include free registration, shop name, a profile pic, an email address for the business, a brief company description, some product pictures, as well as some descriptions, credit cards, and checking account information, as well as return policies. Before I continue on here, I just wanted to take a note. How many of you guys are looking at this point in the course? So I know we're going to be launching. One of the options is to do an Etsy website. What are your thoughts on continuing on with the Etsy website, or potentially doing something, or doing something else if you had something else in mind? The reason why I'm asked is because what I want to do is we can start this course, start this section online, but I'd actually like to transition into, if you guys are open to it, having in-person office hours or something to that effect, where we sort of bring these things to life in person. So I'm going to give like 1 minute or two for you guys to ask on that. If not, I'm going to continue on with the prerequisites and then stop at 5:20 or so, and then wait to get some feedback. So raise your hand or comment in the chat. I'm going to stay on this section for a minute. All right, I'm assuming that everyone's okay with moving forward. So that being said, shop policies, shipping. Here are some of these shipping times that you need to think about: processing time and estimated shipping times. So if you think it takes you 3 business days to make a product, you should probably give them about a 3 to 5 business processing time, just to account for some of the weekends. It's just simple things that we, being mindful and saying what you're going to be able to do as an entrepreneur. Continuing on with return policies, these are some of the different flavors of return policies. We have all sales are final sale. In California, a California refund law requires a clear signage indicating this as such. So if you are a business where you're probably selling some goods or handmade items or products, make sure you clearly spell out if these things are going to be all sales are final, an exchange only, or a full refund. And the difference between them is an exchange only means customer buys something, they can only exchange it for an existing item or store credit within your business. If it's a full refund, the customer gets the proceeds, the credit or the cash back. For Etsy, here are some of the different fees for listing, as well as the transaction fees. So for listing fees, it's about 20 cents per listing for 4 months. And for shipping label fees, it's about 5% of every listed plus shipping costs. And then for Etsy payments processing, Etsy does the heavy lifting on that. So here's an example of typical Etsy selling fees. You have the item costing around $10. You put a markup to about $30, so about a 200% markup. Then you have Etsy shipping label costs, and then the Etsy payment processing, as well as the listing fee and transaction fee. So your profit margin boils down to about 41%, which, given other industries, and that's pretty healthy profit margin for an entrepreneur trying to start off selling something. Now, I'm going to take a pause here because I know we just did an example of a profit margin, but I wanted to see if any of you guys already have an idea of what you want to start on for your Etsy shop. I would love for you to either raise your hand or comment in the section here, because I know we just kind of transitioned from a vision and a plan to launching a platform. So I want to make sure everyone's changing gears properly. What sort of shops would you guys want to launch on Etsy if you were to launch one? Any thoughts? Was everyone there? Can people hear me? Okay, Michelle, you said yours is a service, not a product. So is there a platform that you think that you had in mind to offer your service? Maybe like Upwork or Fiverr?
So I'm nowhere near that far along, and the competition is really stiff, but I teach Microsoft Office. I watch a lot of YouTube videos from other instructors. And so that's very vaguely what I have in mind, because a lot of people have asked me, oh, I wish you could teach me. I wish you were my teacher, so on and so forth. So I've just given it. So that's as much as I know, is that I have an interest in teaching tech skills online. And yep, that's it. So Etsy does not apply to me specifically, but it might apply to other people, and I'm interested in it.
Gotcha. Okay. Like I said, the curriculum focused on Etsy, but I purposely wanted to slow down here because there may be other platforms, and because this is the pilot, we should be flexible to our audience's needs.
Yeah, and I see Andrea saying the same thing, that she wants to offer classes online, not sure what platform to use. That applies to me too.
Okay. Maybe this is what we'll do. Maybe this is what we'll pick up next time is we'll do one on services, the platforms for services, and one on products. Satoshi said, "I manufacture jackets. Isn't Etsy strictly for handmade?" No. So you can do both, and I've seen people sell garments, or I'm assuming garments on Etsy. I've also seen them use Big Cartel and a number of other tools, or other platforms as well. I think Etsy was just one that was suggested by the program creators. But like I mentioned, I wanted to offer a number of different platforms. So maybe I asked a different question. How many of you guys are actually looking to offer services, or or maybe you guys are just trainers, so you're not actually looking to do either offer any platform. You just wanted to just know more about the different ones. Comment in the chat so I can do my homework here, because I realize maybe the Etsy may not resonate with everyone on this particular call.
I would use Etsy. I know Etsy mostly for like arts and crafts type thing, or like knickknack, or like someone said before, handmade stuff. Um, Though I've also seen like services being added, like provided on Etsy, just in the form of like something else. Like I know how someone that was saying, they teach people how to use Microsoft. Um, like they wouldn't really have like an item page, but they would just literally like have, I don't know, like a filler picture, and then like just list their services. But yeah, if anything, for me personally, I would mostly just sell clothes, or like whatever it is I sell like on my personal website. I would just kind of use Etsy as like a extra platform.
Thank you, Andrew, for that. That's a good point. That the advantage of hosting your own, there are advantages to hosting things. Hosting your inventory, your products yourself. You do get more control. And a little bit more customization. So I do appreciate you bringing that up. Why don't we do this? Because I realized, so these next couple of slides are really around the Etsy stuff, and I realized that this particular audience is going to be mixed up. So why don't we, in class earlier today, what I'm going to do, and me and Steve are going to do, is we're going to research other platforms, like not just Fiverr and Upwork, but other services platforms. And what I like to do is recast this section as platforms, and then there'd be a section on products if you're selling products and services, and a section if you're selling products, and then a section if you're selling services. And then that will enable us to transition into being able to launch multiple flavors of sites. Does that sound like a good use of everyone's time? Because I don't want to continue going through these slides if your mind is in, if your motivator is something totally different. I'm seeing sounds good in the chat. So let's do that. I'm going to hold myself accountable to that. I wanted to make sure that, like I said, this course is designed to be for you. It's not designed for me to just read slides to you guys. So that's what we're going to be here. That's what I'm going to do. So with that, have a blessed night. We'll talk to you guys on Monday. Again, Monday's class will, if you're following the slides, I don't know how you guys are following along, but if you're following the slides are, they basically go over a lot of Etsy content. So this will be shortened, and we'll be going over different marketplaces. Is that like a plan?
I'm in Arizona. I'm in Arizona right now, brother. Let me tell you, that 20-hour drive I took from Texas to Arizona, that was quite a move. But I will tell you, here's the thing. I do know that that there's plenty of people that we can hire to drive, and there's only two things. There's only two things I have. I think that if we're going to hire them to drive, then I really would like to actually have a more solid relationship and say, let's hire them for the season. And this would be somebody that needs to be able to make moves throughout the week.